Well, hello, you dirty bastards. Welcome to Nat 20. The world is a cruel and messy place, and we're happy you chose to come out and sit in ours for a little while. Please be advised, it's rough here too. Welcome to Dirt. I am Osiris Franco, master of ceremonies for the game. Near or far, wherever they are on the screen you're looking at, are my wonderful players. Players! Please go around and tell the folks who you are and who you're playing in this game at the end of all things, starting with Purple. If you're doing it, you're muted.
Trouble finding my mouse too, so double whammy. Hello, I'm Purple Phil, and I will be playing Rick today, and I will pass it down to Bright below me.
Hi everybody, my name is Bright, and today I will be playing Hunk Smashly Fuddruckers. Go ahead, Chrissy.
God damn it. I'm Chrissy, and I will be playing Steph Lux. Cole.
Hello, everybody. My name is Cole, and I will be playing Toad, the Faceless.
Awesome. Before we get started, let's cover some ground rules. Dewuld has ended, and humanity is now fucked. Folks out here have to do what they can to survive. It's a gritty game full of violence, blood, and humors. However, the players and I have met and agreed upon rules of engagement. Before each session, I'll cover off on any triggering topics I foresee, giving them an option to veto content before we begin. Audience, sorry, you don't get this option, so please consider this as a content warning for what you're about to observe. The triggers today are violence and cursing, as far as anything I have prepped. Do we have any issues with that? Do we need to... We cool?
No.
No, we're... Okay, cool.
No issues, sorry.
Fuck.
To make that clear, that was a no
No,
to the issues.
no cursing. Okay,
Fuck no?
excellent.
Language.
Language. As a reminder, the following topics will never ever come up in our game. Eyeball things, harm to children, homophobia, racism, sexism, slavery, sex, and sexual assault. Those are red-carded. They will not make an appearance for any reason. So, now that we've followed the rule of being good, I think that means that we're ready to begin. Shit gets lost when things end. Even the little things. I mean, think about it. There's that jacket you lost when you moved to your first apartment, or the old VHS copy you had of The Labyrinth. You know, the one, the tape is all worn and the case is warped so bad you can just barely make out Bowie's features. It's the one that you lost after your one really bad breakup. Endings are generally messy, even when they aren't, and while natural, they often go against the flow of things that have momentum. They have a way of interrupting you mid-sentence, making you lose your train of thought. The same is true of the big things, like the hope you lost when you watched the government put an end to your rights, or that piece of you dropped on your ex's doorstep that night you stormed out, after the fight that had ended up being the last one. The bigger the ending, the more that's lost. Unfortunately for humans, well, there's a lot of things that are bigger than us. But humans have this thing that we do. We make things out of endings. Like the idea that some things are just meant to be lost and there's no helping it. Sort of like your virginity or that awkward dance you did as a kid. Some folks just shrug things off, try to downplay them, say things like, good riddance, you've outgrown it, or you're better off without it. Kind of seems like an impossible task, though. Hand waving away the end of the world. Making something. Finding a beginning. When there's nothing left. Nothing left but dirt. But then again, isn't that where it all started? A choked breeze shudders down the main drag, clouds of poison dust rising into the air at dance with no rhythm. Sighing structures of rusted metal and sun-bleached pine lean against one another, nails straining in the decaying walls. They look tired, as if even standing in this godforsaken sliver of land saps the integrity out of everything in a 20-mile radius. It's true of the people, too. Thin slivers of gray, orange, and red sucked under sagging beams, clinging to the last tendrils of cold air already evaporating in the early morning. It's gonna be a scorcher. The thick smell of tar and salt oozes over the concrete walls surrounding the settlement of dirt. Soon, the sun will peek over the ridge to the east, trapping anyone reckless enough to be on the oil fields this early. At the end of the main drag is the descent office. It's the only real building of consequence, surrounded by storage sheds, abandoned houses, and holding stalls for late arrivals. A ghost town, except damn souls would rather be in hell than haunt these alleys. The descent happens 3 times a day. Dusk, dawn, and dark. That's it. No exceptions. It's either that or no power in the third layer. And that would have dire consequences. There's a line of citizens, oil skimmers, and Beckys that have begun to queue up. They shift around, rolling shoulders and flashing weapons, posturing for position. There's a scuffle and a wince, and the oil skimmers slink to the front of the line, eyes flashing violence. The Beckys murmur and spit, and everyone else shrinks, not wanting any trouble. No sound mind wants to be out on the surface at this time of day, if they can help it. Heavy metal doors wrench open to reveal an industrial-sized lift, the floor caked with mud and oil. Once loaded, it clambers down the shaft, cables screeching with sand and rust. Some of the newcomers gasp with fear, while the regulars sneer. The elevator hits the first layer with a thud, one that can be felt in every establishment on this ring. A few remaining steins that are both clean and uncracked shiver on the shelves above the bar, where a man sits sipping a hot beverage from a tin cup. A deck of hand-painted, dog-eared playing cards stacked at the man's elbows slips across the bar as it vibrates with the lift doors craning open. He sighs and runs a tattooed hand across a gray brow and across his bearded chin. More thirsty fucking assholes. Of course they stopped here first, instead of going down another layer for a bed and, if you're generous, something you could call a shower. All that rubber and glass, burning holes in their pockets, the greedy shits. No sign of the boss yet, but that's fine. This joint was once his, and there's nothing in here he hasn't broken, fixed, or bartered with. He grunts and eyes a digital clock that flickers on a fading battery and slaps his hand on a switch on the wall, sending a hum of electricity through neon through the tubes to a sign outside. Bug mugs chugs. Hey, Rick. You hear the slamming shut of the first descent. You look around the room and you can hear the bulbs buzzing in their sockets above you and scraping sounds of chairs and a low murmur of voices below. Customers. Tell me, what does Rick look like? And what does his room look like?
Well, Rick looks like me, more or less. Maybe a little bit older, a little bit grayer, but kind of, I don't know. He definitely has a lot of, as far as most people we've seen, maybe they might have dirt. He is a little bit cleaner, but at the same time, there is still dirt around. Yeah, he's kind of kind of sitting there a little bit disgruntled, but also having somewhat of a happy face on somehow. His room, meanwhile, is old. A lot of wood, worn, even with the light bulbs up that are kind of lighting it in a warm glow. There's also a lot of like junk just everywhere. Old posters, rip downs, put up on walls. And I think in a corner there's a spot where there's almost like a shrine, but it's also not well kept to be important. But there's a poster of rolling water on a beach, and it was like an old brand of beer that had an ocean as their background, and that was the thing, and that's just kind of set up on the side.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. How long have you lived here, Rick?
Not too long, but pretty much maybe a week before he got the bar is when he
All right.
started.
Oh, there we go.
Which I'll say is probably like 10 years. So maybe a long time actually, but he got the bar when he moved in.
Okay. You hear you can hear kind of the scuffling of chairs, and then right underneath, like the left head bedpost of your bed, you hear a familiar thunk sound. You know that this is Muggs. He's downstairs with the broom, hitting the floor, trying to get you to come downstairs. What do you do?
I think he kind of just sighs, having heard the hit of the elevator first, and then this, and just guess it's time to put on the face. And he kind of turns, stops, pauses, wipes his brow, and goes, "Guess it's showtime," and he'll go downstairs.
All right. You walk down the stairs. They ease and groan with each step. There's the one that's like fourth from the bottom that you know you have to stand on that left side or else it's going to completely just cave in. You haven't fixed it for whatever reason, and Muggs has kind of given you a lot of shit about it, but you're here to do work. You walk in and you see that there are tables with some new faces, but you can generally figure out who they are given how they cuddled together around tables. Yeah, I said cuddle. Anyways, you've got the Beckys off to a side. They have shuffling flyers in their hands. There's a few at the bar, and then there's the skimmers. You can tell who they are because they have oil splashed up all over them, covering their faces, and their hands are stained this perpetual black from constantly having to work out in the oil fields. And then you have some different citizens. At the end, unsurprisingly, are your regulars. Who are the regulars here at Muggs Chug?
I got a couple. I think to start off, one of them is there, ready. Bubba's probably already served him some way, and his name is Dak.
Okay.
And he is consistent. That is basically his best quality as a customer. He's here, he's here, same time, orders the same thing, pays, and stays for way too long.
Okay.
But that's all right. He pays. Next to him, I think, is not actually a customer, but a regular to an extent. It's a younger kid that kind of does odd fetch errands for me to grab stuff.
Okay.
They go. I need a good name for them. Actually, I had one, but maybe. They go by. I don't know their name actually. That's what it is. I call them Shorty because they're a little bit younger, and I pay them. They do odd jobs for me. They give me a lot of crap, even though I pay them.
This is wonderful.
And the third person next to them is Bim Jean. And they are a bad customer. They're late on payments. They drink way too much. They gamble way too much, and they lose way too much. Which is actually okay on the last front. I'd forgive him if that was the only problem.
The house always wins, right? Maybe that's why you keep him around, is you know that at least he's good for a little rubber, right?
And he makes the other customers happy when they're not the ones losing it all.
Perfect. You come down, you see the regulars, you see the crowd, and you see the scowling face of Muggs behind the bar as he tosses a broom in the corner and gestures over to you. He seems a little grumpier this morning than usual.
Morning, Bubka. You're hip, happy, and chipper as always.
We known each other for some time. You took my establishment from me. We don't need to pretend like you can say my name. Bubka.
I can try. Right, Bubka?
I wish you wouldn't. Listen,
Wish I could change the name of the bar.
well, you have to pry that from my dead, cold hands. As he says that, he actually flips a couple of cards between his fingers, and before setting it on the bar and leaning low over. Listen, we've got a bit of a situation.
Oh, I thought you were... He looks at the cards. I thought you wanted to make the usual bet. High or low.
I mean, I'm always looking for a bet.
High or low, and he cuts the card. Rick will reach over and cut the cards.
Hi.
What I flip?
Roll. Let me see. What did you flip? Yeah. You roll, or you pulled, and again, these are Mug's hand-painted cards, but you pull the equivalent of the Ace of Spades.
God, that's high, right?
That's high. That's high.
I think that's what he says, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like he asks, like that's high,
Yeah,
and Mug,
that's high, right?
I can't fucking believe.
Well, that's half your wages for today.
So we got a bit of a situation.
We got a situation, all right.
He leans back over the bar. It's restock day for the layers. But I'm
is that
hearing
today? I thought that was next week.
no, it's today, and I'm hearing that our shipment of Sloan's didn't come in.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that would be a problem. And he's gonna look over. Shorty, were you supposed to get that? Were you supposed to get that order in today?
Huh? What? What do you? Oh, is this about? And Shorty will slink over. Is this about not getting Sloan's? And Muggs goes, keep your voice down. Oh, sorry. Yeah. No, I was checking the crates as they were bringing them in. I didn't see any.
Any? Not even anyone else.
No, now that I think about it, no, I didn't see any. So you
That's
can
a
see,
problem.
yes, it's a problem. And he points at some of the newcomers that have come in, and it's one that you're gonna have to figure out, Mr. Owner Man. As he leans back behind the bar, glaring at you a little bit before being waved down by a customer.
I think Rick looks like he's gonna say something, but he leaves before he can.
We're gonna go ahead and fade out on that scene as Rick kind of like holding up a finger, trying to. Shorty at your side, being like, kind of like, is there anything I can do to help? And we'll go ahead and leave with that. Moving on. The second layer trembles with the arrival of the descent as the machine had kept carrying folks further and further down. I have a question. Are there still refugees after the apocalypse, or is that just a given? They all step out timidly onto the floor, looking around for something, anything, some sort of stability. A place where they can catch their feet. They eye the gray concrete walls marred with bright yellow and orange spray paint scrawl. There's 2 words, intake and food. The lines streak out of view, disappearing in opposite directions down wide corridors lined with buildings haphazardly stacked, built in a hurry. The doors on them all have sigils, signs, marks, indicating who lives within. Some doors are covered in them, carved and scratched out and carved again. People start walking down the different halls, eyes up, looking at the crisscrossing walkways that lead up higher and higher to different residences stacked on each other. In one of these residences, on the door, is a very particular sign carved in. Hey, Hunk, what's your sign?
The sign is just a wooden plaque that says "fuck off" with the K backwards, hanging from like a rusty nail and a little shoestring that holds it up.
All right. We kind of we see that sign and pass through into the door on the other side where there's a small room, like 9 feet by 10 feet ish. Let me ask, is Hunk at home?
He is standing in front of a broken standing mirror, just kind of flexing and unflexing his leg muscles, and watching them kind of just ripple as like his thighs have an 8-pack. Mm-hmm. And he's just kind of like watching them flex. He's like, yeah, sweet.
Is he alone
sick.
while he's doing this?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Tell me, what does Hunk's room look like?
It's a haphazard mess of clothes, scrap metal, and mirrors that he's collected. They're all just kind of positioned in places where he knows to catch himself. The one that he's flexing in right now is on the back of the door, also hung from the other side of the nail that pierces it. But there's one on like the ceiling so that he just sees his face when he lays down. There's one that when he turns over in bed on the wall. There's another one inside the closet as he separates the rags that he uses for clothing. He sleeps on a pile of disarrayed, unwashed, like discarded laundry that he's formed into kind of like a nest in the shape of him.
Okay.
And on the floor is just various pieces of like scrap metal, chain, sharp objects, weapons, things like that he's like either hammered into the wall. Like you walk into like a 13-year-old's room who has no guidance. It's like, swords and axes just kind of like hammered into the fucking wall with all these like gash marks in the drywall.
Gotcha. How long have you lived here?
4 days, 12 hours, and 15 minutes. There was a previous owner to this domicile. They no longer live here.
Okay. As you're sitting there kind of flexing your quads, being very excited about the gains, you hear at the door a loud pounding. Hey, open up!
Oh, yeah.
I don't have time, Hunk. Open the goddamn door.
Hunk opens the door, and there are 4 chained bolts on it, and he pulls them all taut so that you see just like this portion of his face.
Outside, you see a woman. She's in her mid-30s. Her hair is cut short and tight to the sides, and dark a little bit. If she styled it, it could be a pretty sick mohawk. She has a sharp brow and a very stern look. She's dressed in blacks and grays, with a bunch of stuff strapped across her chest and on her arms. She glares at you, and you recognize this individual as Noah. She's the kind of de facto leader of Dirt, the one that kind of keeps everything running on schedule. It's actually a little bit surprising that she's here.
Oh, hi, Noah. What can I do for you? And he opens the door all the way without, like, undoing the bolts and just rips them off the hinges and lets the door swing open.
She watches as the chains snap and the little parts fly and seems unfazed before turning and looking back at you. You have a job?
A job?
Yeah, a J-O-B job.
Like a job for you, or do I have a job?
No. Are you currently employed in a town? You know what? No. I have a job for you. I have some work that needs to be done.
Sure.
Can you... And she looks kind of nervous as she's like looking at you, like eyeing like you and like hearing as you're speaking, and you see her kind of question herself, but she steels herself and goes forward. Listen, you're gonna need a crew because I don't trust all of this to get it done, but I hear that you're good. I hear that you are capable, though I'm starting to question my sources. Are you interested?
There's kind of like a vacant stare on his face. His eyes seem to like stare off in slightly different directions as he blinks asynchronously at you and then nods and goes, uh-huh.
Right. Okay. Fuck it. Meet me at Abinadi's Spine later today, just before the last descent. Bring a crew if you're able to find one.
Okay, well, so hold on. Let me write this down. And he goes over to the wall where there's like a bunch of swords and axes, and he yanks one out and starts like carving meat. No, spell Benedine for me. It's fine. And he just misspells Benedine in like all caps.
Abinadi.
Bad sky.
Noah like rolls her eyes and goes, we're all gonna fucking die. And she'll walk away in a huff. Her task completed. As she does and your doors open, what do you do now? You've woken up, you've opened the door. Where do you go from here?
What time did she say to me? What time? Wait, no! Wait, when am I supposed to meet you again? I only wrote... Shit. Well, she said I needed a crew, so I guess I'll go find one.
As you lean out the door, there's a group of passing children and you're calling out, asking for these things. The children immediately start laughing, and one of them points at you and goes, ugly flea-ridden cur, as it then turns around and darts down the alley with the other children following behind, flipping you off and making other obscene gestures.
Will you hear me? And he starts to like whirl his like head with his helmet placed on. He starts to whirl the spiked ball around and he starts chasing these kids as it's spinning around his head, demanding
right.
reconciliation. Or
perfect.
Blood.
We're gonna go ahead and fade out as you start running out. The camera's gonna lift up and kind of get that aerial view of these little kids running away down an alley with you in hot pursuit. As we shift over, kind of bird's eye view, looking across the layers to a nearby neighborhood, where we kind of zoom in on another door. Steph, what's your sign on your door?
Hers would probably just be a big middle finger, just like, and it's like probably carved in as well.
Okay. Same thing. We kind of pan in through the door to a exactly same dimensions 9x10 room. Is Lux home?
Yeah, if it's early enough, she would be there, probably laying in bed. She would have a small Microsoft Zune off to the side, attached to a very haphazardly connected speaker, listening to something very quiet, like Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Amazing. And tell me, what does Steph's room look like? What has she collected closely in this place?
First walking in, you would see a lot of what looks like nothing, just like bits of machinery kind of around everywhere. Doesn't appear to have any real order to it. But it's all sorts of parts of small engines, small mechanical things, little pieces of electronics. Like a soldering gun is probably like sitting on a desk. She has everything in there to make something small in the moment. With like probably a few sets of like salvaged Carhartt jumpers around that she would wear when she goes to the shop.
All right. You start to wake up and get ready for your day. Where would Steph be headed this morning?
She would head to the kind of what would probably be identified as the closest thing to a mechanic that this space would have. No real way to tell that it's a mechanic shop aside from maybe hearing what's happening, the welding sounds and the machines like kind of whirring. That's where she would head for sure.
Okay. You start making your way across the second layer. The wide lanes are starting to fill with people as they also wake up and go about their day. They're hurrying along the layered walkways leading up to the different layers in the residence quarter. There are flyers covered in the Church of Mall propaganda announcing the BOGO event that litter the floor beneath your heavy boots. The only thing lower than the layer that you're on now is the third layer, which is for resources. But you're making your way over to the garage. The garage is this massive hangar. This is where you have a mechanic who kind of keeps track of vehicles and helps coordinate, because this is where vehicles are stored. And it's very important that someone oversee this because parking spots aren't given. They're earned. So what badass thing did Steph do to earn her parking spot?
She was probably, as far as this Dewuld is concerned, she's been here for a while. So she has seen her way through any number of like attempts at uprising and the whole 9 yards. So the last time that there was any sort of attempted incursion, Steph would have been absolutely at the forefront. Probably gaining some type of reputation as doing things recklessly. So it was probably given to her less out of you deserve this and more out of if we don't give this to them, there's a solid chance they'll react very poorly.
Gotcha. And that reputation speaks for itself, right? As you walk through the garage, there's other people here doing maintenance on their dirt bikes and various vehicles. And as you walk, they all kind of watch as you step through this hangar. Some with reverence, others with a little bit of fear, and kind of moving out of your way as you eventually step up to a desk with painted in just black tar. It says the mechanic. There's a person standing there. They're leaning over the table. They have a socket wrench that they're kind of tapping on their lip, and they look up at you with piercing green eyes and just nod. Lux?
Yeah.
What can I do for you?
Oh, I'm gonna do a few tune-ups on Betty.
All
Do you
right.
guys need anything here?
He looks around kind of at the stuff around him before eventually grabbing some papers and shuffling goes, actually, yeah, I'm gonna need you to move Betty just for a little while. You can use one of the lifts though, that's fine. It's just we need room for some of the stuff that's come in with the restock. Is that all right?
She's just going to deadpan look at him, very uncomfortably, and she's going to say, I'll do that for roughly like 2 hours max.
The mechanic kind of leans forward and makes eye contact with you before looking back at a code of rules that's written on the wall, where there's only 2 rules. What the mechanic says goes, and go fuck yourself. And it will look back at you. It kind of sounds like you're trying to like manipulate or intimidate someone. Would you agree?
Yes.
Would you like to make a roll for that, please?
Yeah.
First
Absolutely.
roll of the game. First roll of the game.
So is that hard? Or cool?
Let me look really quick. Because I'm pretty sure it's going to be... manipulate something. So what you're going to do, it's going to roll hot. Right, well, no, because you're... Are you
okay.
manipulate?
I'm
Yeah,
not good
so
at that.
you're going to tell them what to do and give them a reason and then roll hot.
Yeah. I'm going to look at him again, glance at the rules, and go, listen, I can't have Betty up because if I need to get to her, I can't take the time. But I will shuffle her around as needed. Maybe.
Okay. Go ahead and roll hot.
Yeah, I'm real bad at this one.
On a 5, that will miss. You do have forwards or minuses from your from the boons that we did in between sessions, though.
I'm minus on those, so
Okay.
I'm good.
All right, perfect. So go ahead and mark experience. And as you say that, let me see, read what I do. Yeah, the mechanic's gonna lean forward. Maybe you didn't hear me. It's kind of early, right? I said we need you to move your car for the restock, and he yells that loud enough that like people around can hear, and they all turn and look before he tilts his head to the side. Or do you want to be the one that tells Rue why she didn't get her stuff? Move your damn car.
She will stare hard again and walk over to where Betty is, move the vehicle towards one of the lifts, but intentionally smash something on the way. So she'll
Awesome.
like clip a machine, or she'll do something stupid and then drive it up onto a lift.
Okay, as you kind of hit a crate, and as it cracks open, you see you just hear kind of like the crunch of plastic, and as it like opens up, it's a bunch of like dirty old Happy Meal toys that kind of spill out onto the floor as they, in different pieces. And the mechanic just looks at you as this happens, shrugs, and then goes back to your work. You do see a very nervous man with a scruffy beard go, "Oh no, oh my god, oh no, oh no," as he runs over to the crate and starts trying to pick up the pieces of the broken toys. You recognize this as Archie, kind of one of the town idiots, as he's like, "Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no," scrambling over these items. And that's going to where we fade out as you get out of the car and slam the door and move to start working on your car. So let's go ahead and save this out. From here, we move down to the 3rd layer. On the 3rd layer, there is this hum of activity most of the time, but right now it's faded a little bit as there's the changing of the shifts. Here, the pavers process their maze for the roads that they need to build. Nobody really knows what they do with the metal that they bring in boxes and boxes, but nobody really asks. You don't ask questions to the pavers. This layer is the rock bottom of dirt, where all the precious things are kept. Resources like water, ammunition, and even more priceless things. The lanes here are wider, and each section, it's like they're more like warehouses in here. Through some doors, you can see sparks flying. Others, you just hear the gurgle of water in tanks. But this morning, there is someone walking through these aisles of the third layer. Someone without a face. Hey, Toad. Can you tell me, why are you on the third layer this morning?
I'm lost.
Where were you trying to get this morning?
I'm trying to look for Hunk. I think we were supposed to have a lunch meeting.
Okay. You're meandering. How long have you been lost for, would you say?
How do you tell time?
What does your heart tell you?
Oh, probably at least one dust storm. But what is that to you?
That's fair. You're kind of walking around lost, and there's as you're starting to get the sense that maybe you should probably ask someone for help. And as you do, you've been kind of peeking in the doors. Most of the spaces are empty because, again, people are leaving with grumpy looks on their faces after a night of hard work. But you reach one door where there's a green glow that's emanating out into the hall. And there's kind of the sound of like rippling, like of liquids. And as you kind of approach and look in, you see just these big big tables all stacked with jars. Greens and blues, each with an individual light above them. And inside the jars, there looks like there's like a something inside each of them. And you've been around for a while. You would recognize this as Rue's place. And as you look, you don't see her immediately, but you know that she probably will help you find where you need to go. You've heard nice things about Rue as you've been in dirt. And you notice through the back, there seems to be an office with like pulsing blue light, kind of in one of the windows that has the blinds closed.
I'll just quietly walk towards the office. Hello?
As you do and you approach, you're passing through and there's all these jars with the plants in them, and some, like, it's strange as you walk by, you swear that you see some kind of reach out and press against the jar as you move by, so you kind of stop for a second because you're not really sure. You've never seen this many plants or life growing in a single place, and it kind of takes you, like, it's a little almost unnerving. You reach that door and you reach in to, like, call out, like, is anyone here? And as you do, you hear the loud thump of a head underneath a desk and oh, shit! Oh, fuck. Fuck.
Are you okay?
Yeah, and you see a hand come up from under the desk and wait. Yeah, I'm all right. Yeah. Oh God. Okay. Yeah. And you hear kind of a scrape as the chair gets pushed away. And up from under the desk comes Rue. And Rue, like, as she stands up, she goes, "Oh my God. Oh, yo. Okay. All right. Yeah. You're one of them. Huh. Tell us, what does Rue see when she looks at Toad?"
Yeah, so standing in front of her is a person very obviously heavily masked and the mask is the only like pristine piece of outfit that they have. Wearing a old military style button down with the sleeves cut off, and a very, very old band t-shirt that's all sorts of discolored, and now has a broken guitar strap sling for their machete around their shoulders. And as she looks closer, a lot of the clothes have like burns and singe marks all over, and spots of red dusted all over the pants, and pretty tall stature, and skinny buff, basically.
Okay. You have a name, right? You're not your face is not nameless. Who am I talking to?
They call me Toad. Who are you?
Oh, hi. Yeah. Sorry. I'm Rue, and she will put a hand out to you, and who you see in front of you, is Rue. She is one of Abinadi's children, who is kind of, I wouldn't say, they're the ones in charge of making sure dirt still functions. She is in her late 20s. She wears gray pants. One of the legs looks like it's been through like a shredder. The other's been cut off into a short. She has about chest length, scraggly blonde hair. The left side of her face is heavily scarred, but she still has those bright, optimistic eyes, almost unnervingly so. She's holding out a hand that's covered in dirt. Her nails have been painted, but it's starting to chip now and crack away. On her clothing, she has a bunch of different like words and sigils and stuff on the leg of her pants. There's something that looks like it's been spray painted on, and across her shirt it says "I seek these things" with some kind of structure underneath. Yeah, I'm Rue. Yeah, food time's upstairs though, so unless you need something else.
And Toad will reach out a hand for a handshake, but will do like the arm like grab instead of hand grab.
She wasn't ready, and so she'll lean forward a little. Okay, all right, yeah, okay. Nice to. Okay,
Yeah. I'm. Yeah. What? Where am I?
Well, yeah, on the third layer.
Oh.
This is the food factory. This is where I work. Wait. Are you drunk? Oh my god, are you drunk? And she reaches over and kind of grabs a knife as if to like defend herself. Because I had drunk come in here last time, tried to eat a whole bunch of stuff, and if I have to stab you, I will.
Oh no, no, I'm just not from here. Obviously, I'm looking for a person named Hunk.
Hunk.
Yeah, so, they're like a weird person.
That's that. The good-looking guy. Wears big old helmet.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's gonna be up a layer. So you're gonna want to go back and head down, and she starts to kind of give you directions to get back to a smaller lift. She's like, "You're not gonna. Did you come down in the descent? You know, the big elevator. Boom.
Oh yeah. I must have got off on the wrong floor.
Okay, right. So you can't take that back up, but what you can do is go hit one of the service elevators. It'll take you up to one of those districts. Do you know what? And she kind of gets nervous. Do you know what? Where he lives?
I'm sure he'll be going to. Is there a place where you can? Oh, I don't know. I'll find him. He usually leaves a really obvious trail.
Let me help you, hon. And she's gonna go over to her desk where there's one of those old timey radios and punch a button on the wall and just go, hello, yeah, this is Ro, and lean off, and there will a crackling voice that will come through. What do you need? Yeah, I got somebody lost down here. I just need someone, I need to put out an announcement, for someone to pick up a lost and found. And you hear it click back through. Fine. Great. Yeah. Could you just tell him that I'm sending Toad? Was it? I'm sending Toad up to Muggs, and that Hunk needs to meet them there. Can you do that for me? Oh my God. Yes, I can do that for you. Okay. Great. Thank you. And she kind of gets off. She's like, so attitude in the morning. Okay. All right. So you're gonna want to go up to the first layer, find Muggs. You can't miss it. It's having a big flashy sign. Go in there, and then if your friend hears the message, they'll meet you there soon.
Okay, do you have, like, an actual lost and found?
I mean, not really. I mean, the whole town's kind of a lost and found. Like, are you talking, like, on a existential level, or are you talking like you lost your keys?
If people lose things, do you have a system where they don't come get them, someone else can take them?
Is that not just stealing? Because, yeah, we have a lot of stealing. Not in the garage, though. You can't steal in the garage.
So steal anywhere that's not the garage.
Or here. And she kind of, like, grips the knife a little bit tighter. Don't steal here.
Okay, thank you for your help. I'll see you probably never again. Bye.
Okay. Weird. And you walk out of Ruse, making your way back to the elevator, where you're able to ascend back up to the 3rd floor. Actually, on that second layer, I want to check in on Hunk. Hunk, you have been chasing these youth down an alley as they dart back and forth, trying to evade your capture, screaming horrible obscenities back at you. Things like, you have a butt face, you have a butt face. And one kid goes, you have a face only your mother could love, before ducking down another alley. Well, what are you doing?
I like to think that this scene has played out where I have lost the children.
Mm-hmm.
However, dangling from my head flail is a mangled bicycle that is still dangling now, just like from around my neck as I like have my head on a pivot. And I've ended up at Bubba's.
Okay,
Mug
yeah,
Bug.
so this chase has led you. At that one point, you heard like a soft, like over the intercom go, oh my God, if there's someone named Hunk out there, you need to like fucking go to Muggs. Toad's waiting or whatever. And like the message almost like shuts down before the announcer even gets through the word whatever. And you've run up and find yourself walking in to Muggs Chugs. Toad, you arrived some time ago. When you walked in, Mug, who was behind the bar, just looked at you and looked to an empty chair and gestured. Would you have sat in that chair, or would you have gone somewhere else?
What kind of chair is it?
It's one of those ones that's like it's got the round back with the posts between it, and it comes down narrow, so you can swing it around and sit on it backwards, because the bottom of the back is like narrow enough you can fit your legs around either side.
Yeah, that'll do. He'll take that seat and perch like he always does in chairs.
Mm-hmm.
And wait for Hunk.
Perfect. Hunk, you walk in. Rick, what have you done with your morning? Have you just been kind of milling around?
Lost the mouse again. Yeah, I think he's kind of probably trying to chase after Bubba and being like, wait, well, what do we do when we don't have? I think he's kind of just been in this like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do that mode, and trying to figure out, kind of like in a panic almost, but also like not in a panic, like
Trying
a lazed panic.
Trying to like keep it cool in front of the customers and kind of sneaking in moments. So we'll actually start there, and then we'll move to Toad and Hunk's reunion. There's a moment where Muggs goes back behind the bar to where the kitchen is, and there's a couple of people that are there helping make food and whatnot. And you follow him back, and Muggs just sighs and goes, "All right, ask your fucking questions."
Has this ever happened before?
No.
How did we get it anyways? I never really paid attention to that part. It just shows up like every 2 weeks.
We pay the runners go to Sloan's, the runners bring it back. But I guess, I don't know, you could find out what happened to the runners? I've been here all day, I don't know any more than you do.
Okay, I gotta talk to the runners then.
Yeah. Talk
Shorty,
to the runners.
you wanna go talk to the runners?
Shorty, who like was outside climbs out from under, like cabinet doors open, and this little kid pops out. Just goes, yeah. Oh, what do you need, boss?
We need to talk to the runners. Why didn't we get our
The runners.
shipment?
Okay. Why we didn't get our shipment? Okay. You want me go find them? Okay.
Yes.
I can do that, but we'll like look at Muggs behind you, who nods and goes, but I should bring up the fact that I haven't been paid yet this month.
Sure. I'm pretty sure I paid you twice last month. Isn't that how it worked?
But that was last month. This is this month.
Oh. Yeah, we'll talk about when you get back.
Oh, when I get back, and he just kind of like nods. Okay. Goes.
We'll have an extra plate of mushrooms for you when you get back.
Yay. His Shorty kind of like trips out through the door, and Muggs behind you goes, "You know he's allergic to the shrooms, right? We have to give him the special Kanga, the one that Rue makes without the nuts."
We do?
Yes.
Since when?
Always. Since always. I swear to Cowboy Christ. Why the fuck am I even here? I could just edit it. It's the fact that this place is still even open.
I did pay you last month, right?
You did, and then I lost it, so you're fine.
Well, I'm glad that one worked out. Is there anyone else I didn't pay? As he like looks at the rest of the crew that's
you see out of the three other people in here, 2 people put up their hands. Yeah, I didn't get paid.
I look at the third person that did get paid, and I go, "You can put up your hand. It's fine. I'll work it out at the end of the day."
Raise their hand to indicate that they have also not been paid.
We'll work it out. We'll work it out.
Did
I not pay the runners? Is that the problem? He's gonna look at Bubba.
Muggs is gonna kind of shrug at you and say, I don't know. Did you pay the runners?
I thought I just usually had you do that thing.
Mm-hmm. And he just like picks up a tray of silverware, turns, and like walks out, like grumbling under his breath.
And he just kind of like is just like goes to a table and just runs his hand across it, just like fingers one at a time clicking against it, and goes, "Oh, I might be in trouble." I think we can cut it there back to the reunion.
Awesome. Toad and Hunk. Hunk, you walk in, you see Toad sitting at a table. And you immediately recognize him. You also recognize Rick, who has just kind of come out of the kitchen, a really worried expression on his face as he sits at a table and taps his fingers. So you are all three are now in the same room.
Hi, Toad. Hi, Rick.
Hey. Can you guys close your eyes real quick?
Why?
I don't want to hurt you.
Protection if I close my eyes?
Yes. Close your eyes. Rick?
Okay.
Sure. I'm down.
Toad will be very careful, and now that they're sitting down at a table.
Oh my god.
And we'll put the mask down on the table very carefully and just look back up. Okay, you can open them now.
What do they see now that they've opened their eyes?
You see what's in front of you. You see Toad. Sorry, I just didn't want you to get scared and
Where's
get hurt.
Toad? Who are you?
Oh, sorry, I took off.
Rick face palms to that.
I took off my mask and he pats it on the table, keeping it very, very safe. And if anyone even thinks to get close to it, his hand will go immediately to a knife.
Uncle looks at you and then looks at the mask and then continues to direct his conversation to the mask. Alright, so, well, I'm gonna get a seat. You wanna get something to drink? And
I already have a drink.
Hunk's gonna take his 6'7" ass over to another table and drag the whole table closer to the other table and sit on the table rather than a chair.
Sure. It's fine.
Yeah, Rick.
I wave off Bubba. She's like, nope, we're not gonna fight this one.
Yeah, Bubba's getting stressed, and you see this huge gouge in the freshly mopped floor as the table just wrenches across.
Fix it later, Bubba. Don't worry.
I can't fucking believe I lost this place. He goes back to help customers at the end of the bar.
Can I have some a hot milk?
I think we have that.
Okay.
Toad, you good? You need another one?
No, I'm good. Thank you, Rick. Cheers.
One hot milk for the Hunk.
You
do we have milk, Bubba?
As you're do we have milk? You notice Bubba just sighs and goes over and gets a big old box of the powdered milk.
The powdered milk,
that preppers use, and just scoops out a couple scoops into a jar
Coffee
before
maker.
pours I don't even think Bubba I don't even think Mugs. It's just coffee on that. So it's hot coffee in the powdered milk, which he then stirs. He just picks a random utensil and stirs it, and then slides it to the end of the counter.
Yeah, that's a good idea. More caffeine. That'll help.
And he doesn't say anything as he turns. Goes back.
One of these days, I'm gonna make it crack a smile. He's just gonna take it over.
All right, the three of you are at this table.
Hunk looks at the brown mix.
One hot milk.
Okay, he chugs the entirety of its contents.
Changes color when it gets warm. Don't worry about it.
Bright, have you ever had powdered milk?
No, I have respect for myself to a degree.
So, there are no words that I can say to you in this moment to let you know how horrific this substance is that you're willingly putting in your body. There's a sourness to it, and the texture is gritty. Like it looks like it's not. It is white-ish, but like you can, and it looks like the particles have kind of dissolved, but despite that, there is still this strange grit texture to it as it slips like between your lips, and like it's hot, like hot water, like, and it hurts to like drink. Like there's, as you do, your body is going to try and like physically rebel. Like it intrinsically knows that this should not be happening.
Sure.
And it's not good.
Okay. I gotta ask now, have you had powdered milk?
I grew up poor. Honeybee I have.
Honeybee.
Utah.
Hey, Sarah, remind me the next time I
yeah.
see you, remind me to just give you like a big hug, okay?
Thanks, bud.
So yeah, when Hunk chugs this, you're gonna hear like the sounds of his distress, sort of, and distaste for what he's drinking. Like there's gonna be struggle sounds, but you're gonna hear like the muscles in his very thick neck as he uses a flail attached to his head. You would imagine that this like traps and neck, you can hear the muscles like swallow and fight at the same time, but like force it down his gullet as he like chugs this horrible substance. And at the end of it, he like sets the mug down with like this light brown mustache on his face, and he lets out like a gurgly burp, and he's just like, duh, and he's heaving just.
Pretty good, right?
It's delicious. Can I have another one, please? And he just slides the glass forward, but he's like cringing a little bit.
Yeah, I'll get you another one.
Are you sure you want another one, buddy?
Uh-huh.
As we do that, and Muggs getting that box and like dropping it back on the counter, and as he does the thud and a little bit dust falls on to the bar where he wipes it away, muttering like "fucking idiot." We just drop straight down through the floor into the second layer of dirt, where we find Steph still working. And Steph, what are you doing in the garage? You've moved your car. You've got it up on a lift.
Yeah, so she would have helped unload things for the restock or moved, made space. She would have been helpful, however it was needed. When that was all done, she probably would mess around with her car for a little bit, take up as much time as possible, and then head over towards the mechanic and go, I have to meet a friend. Do you need anything from me? Can I move my car yet, or?
Before we shift away, like as you're pointing back at your car, can you describe that for everybody? What does Steph drive?
It is a fortified Volkswagen Bug. So she has welded like a small cage around it. There is a bullseye painted on the top. There's like just a small on the front. She has attached probably some stuffed animals and toys and just like things that she's found out and about when out riding. It definitely is like a banged up, busted car. Probably bullet holes in the sides that you can't, like, if you get really close you can see them, but if you just like glance at it, it's just really kind of just a wrecked car. But it's not pretty in any capacity, but it is well fortified.
Gotcha. The mechanic looks over at your car, and remind me again what it's called.
Betty.
Mechanic looks over at Betty and then back at you. No, I think you're all right. You can probably move back to your spot. Thanks for helping unload. I appreciate that. But that he gestures over that crate that you ran over. Rue's gonna be pretty upset about that, so I would recommend checking your food for nails. She finds out.
Loud and clear.
Yeah, and you're able to you move over to Betty, and it's funny, like you get into the car and you start it up, and there's that satisfying rumble. The hood of the car kind of jitters a little bit and adds like a little clang sound, and you go to back up and like pull back into your parking spot. But as you do, you notice the item that you have hanging from the mirror normally, it's missing. What would Steph normally have hanging from her mirror?
She absolutely would have had some sort of either fuzzy dice that were like matted and disgusting, or a pair of like women's underwear for some like weird conquest from years prior. Not even remotely, if not one, probably both.
Yeah, absolutely both. And they are both missing. Like, you didn't realize it, and you kind of question, like, you're not sure how you didn't notice when you got in the first time, but they're gone.
She's going to stick her head out of the car door and look at the mechanic and then yell to everyone else, "Who the fuck stole my stuff?"
It's all of the sound in the garage cuts off as you yell that. And the mechanic, who was looking at some papers, slowly looks up and over at you. What did you just say?
Somebody stole my stuff.
There's like an audible gasp from someone, and there's like low whispering murmurs as they're like, it's almost as if your words are echoing through here. The mechanic, for the first time, stands up straight behind the desk and looks like a death stare at every single person in this hangar before moving out from behind the counter. He's a tall guy, like, I'd say like 6'2", broad shoulders, but he's slender. He's wearing baggy pants and a gross green tank top that's like stained with oil. He has short cut hair that kind of somehow, even though it's cut short, always seems to be in his eyes, and just piercing green eyes. And as he comes around, you realize like he's actually pretty, like, he's strong. His upper body is built. And he comes out with that socket wrench in his hand, and he's gripping it tight enough that you can see the white knuckles. Show me. As he walks over to your car, asking to see what's been stolen.
She will point to the rearview mirror. I mean, my fuzzy dice are gone. My underwear are gone. So someone's a real sick fuck here. Not that I wasn't, but they are.
Anything else missing?
She will do a quick check to see if anything else is missing. Do you need me to roll for that?
That's what I'm trying to see, if there's like a move. I don't think so, though. So I'm gonna say, let's see.
Do you want me to read a situation?
Yeah, let's go ahead. This isn't really a charged situation, but yeah, let me see.
It's not?
Mm,
I'd say it's pretty charged.
yeah, let's go ahead. Let's read a situation.
All right.
So roll sharp.
Roll that.
Or roll plus sharp.
9.
A 9. So on a 9, on read a sitch, you get to ask one question from the list of questions that I have here.
So can I ask the question in reference to what we're kind of like, what's my enemy's true position, meaning like where they're located in the space? Or is that like an emotional read the situation? Like, who looks most guilty.
Yeah, I feel like I would read that in this like, what's my enemy's true position? As you're looking, here's how I'll interpret this, is like it's giving you information, right? As you're looking like for stuff that's missing, you're kind of combing through. You're opening the glove box and like the side compartments. You're checking in the doors to make sure all your valuables are there. And as you do, you notice like underneath one of the seats is a crumpled up flyer. And as you like kind of stretch and pull it open, it looks like the Church of Malls. It's got their typical spiel on it, but it's a flyer for the BOGO event. And this flyer isn't yours.
She will hold it up and announce to the room, anyone want to claim this guy too? And hand it over to the mechanic.
The mechanic takes it in his hands and looks at it before looking up at everyone. And again, that stillness has remained in this hangar. There are certain things you do to survive, and there are certain behaviors that are really frowned upon. But stealing in the garage, you don't fucking do that. He'll hold it up above his head and say, Becky's, get the fuck out. And as he does, there's going to be a couple of people who like actively start walking towards the door. And the mechanic will call over as they're leaving. No fucking Becky is allowed in here until her shit comes back. And the first person that brings me the person who took that, he points over to where there are 3 spots painted on the floor. Each one has a name spray painted. There's cars parked in 2 of them. There's Noah's, there's Rue's, and there's a middle one that has the name Jesper. He points at that. Whoever brings me that person gets that fucking spot. Steph, you would know that this is a high honor to earn a spot to park with Abinadi's children. Like, that's VIP parking. The mechanic turns and looks at you, his eyes flashing with rage. And he hands the flyer back to you and says, I hope you can find your shit. Before kind of giving it to you and stalking back over to his desk. What do you do?
She will take the flyer, shove it into a pocket. And as she's walking out, just kind of like make as much eye contact as possible with people, shifting various... She would have been carrying weapons and things with her, just in general, just shifting a little bit as she's walking, and she's gonna go try to find Squirrel.
Okay. Where are you gonna start looking? What layer?
She would probably start at a minimum outside of Mugs, Chugs.
Okay, awesome. You God damn it. You start moving over to the elevator to lead you to the first floor, and we're gonna cut as you step into the elevator, and like which is directly across from the mechanic's desk. Right as he gets back behind his desk, you're standing in the elevator, and as the doors close, he just nods at you once, and you begin to ascend back up towards Mugs Chugs. We're back in Mugs. Hunk, you're not feeling super great because you did just drink 2, maybe 3 glasses of this hot milk. Rick and Toad, you're sitting there with him. What are you guys doing?
I'm both disgusted and impressed. And looking at Hunk having drank all of this milk.
Ugh. I don't feel so good, you guys. I feel like I maybe had a little too much candy earlier.
Told you not to drink 2 of those.
Well, it's okay. I didn't drink to it. I just finished my third one right now. So, like, this will make me feel better, right? You know what they say on those old billboards that we found in the junkyard? Milk good does your body good.
You know that
So
was
my
all a
body should
lie,
be-
right?
What?
That was a lie. It was
What do you-
propaganda.
What do you mean? It was on a billboard. You can't put propaganda on a billboard.
I guess you've never heard about the billboards they used to put in this place called Utah.
What did you put on the billboards in Utah?
This weird dancing lady that was, I guess, part of some cult. It wasn't even about the dancing.
What kind of cult was it?
I don't know. That was forever ago.
Oh. So it wasn't like a super effective propaganda, I guess, huh?
I don't know. Maybe we'll have to find out. We need to find a historian on Utah.
Well, people still dance, so maybe it was.
That's true. What was she dancing for, or to, or why?
Life's many questions.
As you're having this conversation, you hear the sound of shattering glass as there are two individuals standing by the bar squaring off. One, obviously, an oil skimmer, the other, a Becky, and it is tense between them. The oil skimmer's glass has been knocked out of their hand and shattered on the floor. The Becky is staring at them, breathing hard. Before yelling, "You people have no place in dirt, and you will not ruin the BOGO celebration, the biggest bonanza of the year. The savings will always be remembered."
Hunk is gonna continue. Yeah, you don't understand why she would be dancing, and as he overhears this like loud commotion, why she would dance, and he turns to look over at the other two yelling, and he goes, "Hey! I can't hear my friends." And I'm gonna use dangerous and sexy.
Oh my god. read what dangerous and sexy is for us and the people at home.
When you enter into a charged situation, roll plus hot. On a 10 plus, hold 2. On a 7 to 9, hold 1. Spend your hold 1 for 1 to make eye contact with an NPC present who freezes or flinches and can't take action until you break it off.
Okay.
If on a miss, enemies identify you immediately as their foremost threat.
Okay. Who are you going to be locking eye contact with should it succeed?
Well, because I have the slightly agape vision set, I'm going to try to go for both of them if I roll a 10.
Okay, and if you don't...
They won't be able to tell who I'm making eye contact with. And if I don't, then I'll go for the Becky, or whoever was loudest.
It was the Becky that yelled.
The Becky.
Yeah.
Cool,
Okay.
cool.
Okay, so go ahead and roll me plus hot.
Okay. A 12.
Holy shit. So I'm gonna have this because the oil skimmer hadn't really like taken any action yet. They were just kind of there, and the Becky knocked the drink. You do this thing. You stare at them, and the Becky like kind of mutters, "Bed Bath and Beyond," like underneath their breath. As they like keep eye contact with you. And the oil skimmer off to the side kind of is like frozen hand like on some sort of hilt in their belt. So you have the Becky locked down and unable to move as they're staring into this gorgeous and yet unsettling face. Rick, Toad, what are you doing?
I'm just watching. I was actually kind of hoping to see how it played out between the other two, but this is even better. So I'm just watching and stare him down.
Following Hunk's lead, I'll just kind of, for the first time, get like a really serious look on my face as well.
Okay.
Keep it down. And if there's a problem, let us know.
Okay. The Becky is just gonna freeze, and the oil skimmer is going to like spit on the floor and say, "Y'all think you're so great with your trendy jeans, your quarterly sales," before like bending over to pick up some of the glass and put it on the counter. But just you fucking wait. This place is gonna choke out and dry up. I'd bet money on it. Before turning to leave the bar. As they do, and they're passing.
I'll take that bet.
Okay.
Hunk stands
Got the
up.
station over there.
Hunk stands up and his duster opens, revealing that he's only got on like a Speedo and a crop top. And he stares at, he like shifts his eyes to the other one. I'm not wearing anything.
As you do this, the oil skimmer is gonna turn back and look at you, and look at the fact you're not wearing any pants, and then look back up at you. Baller. Before leaving towards the door. What do?
Hunk locks down the Becky for like a full 10 minutes before before finally sitting back down and grabbing the empty glass in front of him. So like the dancing lady just doesn't make any sense to me.
Steph, we're gonna kind of cut to you. As you reach the top of the elevator, you see an angry oil skimmer coming out of the bar. Fucking Becky's, as he kind of is moving towards the elevator that you're coming from. And you see as the doors open, you see the party of people that you somewhat recognize sitting at the table. And you also see a Becky kind of like shudder before turning back to the bar. You still looking for Squirrel?
Yeah. She would have definitely tried to see if they were outside the bar or inside the bar first.
Okay, awesome. You walk up to the bar, open the door. You see these three sitting around. There's broken glass on the floor. Muggs is behind the bar. And you cast your eyes around. You don't immediately see Squirrel. There are a bunch of people in here, though, as you have the flyer in your hand. You don't see Squirrel immediately in the bar. Rick, Hunk, Toad, you see the familiar face of Lux, someone you've encountered with occasionally standing at the door, kind of looking for someone.
Rick, have you seen Squirrel?
I've seen a squirrel. Yeah, I've seen a squirrel before. They're like small, got, like
No.
big teeth.
No,
Right.
like the person. What do you... The person. He's in here all the time.
Squirrel.
He's in here all the time.
Have I seen squirrel today? Bubba. Has squirrel been in yet? Also, we got some glass out here. Might need to get the broom.
Muggs, who is like already... Like, as you're saying that and you turn, you see him with a little dustpan as he's already, like, sweeping it up, and he looks up at you.
Rockstar.
Stands. Shakes his head, and, like, goes back behind the bar. And
I haven't seen squirrel.
you hear, what was it? Like, let me double check what their names were really quick.
Was
Was
Dak?
it Dirt? Dak.
Dak?
Yeah.
It's
Dak
Dak
at the
and,
end of the
and
bar goes, I ain't been no squirrel here today.
Dak and, to be clear, it's Dak and Bim Jean, and Dak is
Yeah.
short for Dak Daniels.
God damn it.
Motherfucker.
And Bim Jean.
I hate you so much, Purple.
This is amazing.
I hate that I'm adding this in.
Yep. I ain't been no squirrel here, not today. Haven't seen squirrel in here quite a while now. Quite a while now that I think about it. Wondering how he's doing. I hear that Sloan's secret sauce withdrawals are pretty bad.
She's not going to say anything at that, and she will turn to Mug and go, yeah, speaking of which, can I have 2? One for me and one for Squirrel when I find them.
Mm-hmm. You're looking, he'll nod and go, you got a flask?
And she will hand over a flask.
Okay, as you do, Mug's gonna make eyes with you, Rick, as he fills up, Steph, your flask to go. And then he'll actually reach under the bar and pull out, like, it's one of those little square. I like that, but it's like the little square coolers with the lid that like rotates off. And on the side engraved is the squirrel. And he'll just fill up like part of that with this juice and then click the tab shut before sliding it over to you. Apparently this is Squirrel's to go. And Mug will mention he hasn't been in here a while, wondering when he was gonna come get this.
Yeah, me too. That's weird. And she'll take it. And just have a seat. And
why are we looking for someone named Squirrel? I
mean,
feel like this group already has someone with a name kind of similar, and we don't need to.
What are you looking for a squirrel for, though?
I mean, I'm only First of all, calm down. Second of all, just trying to share a drink with a friend. But apparently, we can't have more than one critterly named creature in our party. So I'll wait until another time, apparently. And she's going to shift uncomfortably.
Are we not friends?
Yeah.
So why not have a drink with us?
Here I am. And she's going to just down at least half of her flask.
Why do you have that look on your face?
Oh my God, this is so uncomfortable.
There's no look, I don't think.
Yeah, Steffi, Steph, as you take that swig of Sloane's secreted juice, you feel the familiar buzz as it kind of takes over for a second. What experience is this particular blend?
For Steph, it would probably be like a loose euphoria. So just very calm, much less high strung than normal, and much more relaxed.
The rest of you see as Steph's shoulders relax a little bit as the effects of the juice start to take hold.
So
Oh shit! I just remembered I was supposed to talk to Noah at some point today.
Oh.
wow.
I usually have a crew. Could you guys come with me? I think she told me I was supposed to bring like a crew. I don't know how many people are in a crew, but you know, I need to go see Noah at some point today. And sorry, I thought my tummy was doing something for a second there, but it's fine.
Who's Noah and where are they?
They're at the Jamboree. Jamboree.
The Bonanza?
Jambalaya's.
You got it. Keep going.
Work it out. Start small and sound it out.
Jandalorian. I forgot. It's the name of the place. It sounds like it starts with a J sound. And it ends with a sound. And it was like, meet me at, I have it written down in my apartment. There's a place called Jangaloria's Jungle Gym, I think.
All right, Rick, Steph, you know this place better than us. Is that
Yeah,
here?
I sure know Jangaloria's Jungle Gym. Been there a lot.
Where
Hunk
is
walks over to the bar top. I remember what it looked like when I wrote it down, and he grabs the spike ball chain attached to his head and starts to write into the bar top.
As you do that, let me see.
I'm looking for Bubba.
Yeah, as you. Yep. I need you to. Let's see. I need you to do something.
Okay.
Okay, you go to do this, and as you do, you see Mug behind the bar reach under for something. Just hate in his eyes. You can continue to do this, but you're gonna have to do it under fire.
What's the matter? Did I spell it wrong?
So I'm gonna need you to roll plus cool.
Sick. I'm really good at those. Mainly because I'm oblivious as shit.
Is this person raising a weapon at him?
I'm a god!
He rolled a 10, and on a 10, the rule is you do it. So yeah, Mug, who is next, looking at reaching under the bar, you bring this down and around and start carving in what you carved this morning. Rick, you see some of the light in Mug's eyes drain away as he pulls out what he was actually reaching for, which is a bowl of nuts that he then sets out on the table. Rick, but you also know that Becky that Hunk had intimidated earlier is gone. It seems to have left the bar at some point.
Yeah. When I
We'll
see
talk about it, Bubba. Don't worry about it.
when I see the bowl of nuts, I'll take my hand off of my knife and just keep an eye on Hunk.
That's a B, not a J.
What happens when you put them together?
Oh,
Was it Benedai? A Benedai?
Yeah, it
There's
was
not even a J in there.
Bed-Stuy. That was the one.
Yes.
I forgot the second half of the name, like
Spine?
in real life.
yeah.
Fine.
Yep.
Thank you. I forgot completely because I'm stupid in real life too.
Everyone except for Toad, who
It'll
isn't
buff out. Don't worry about it, Bubba.
who isn't familiar. But you all know Abinadi's spine is a sculpture down in the square on the second layer outside food. It's a big twisted metal structure where it's chunks of metal that have been soldered together, welded together into this big twisted testament to Abinadi, the person who founded Dirt, and their legacy. So you know exactly where that is.
Well, that shouldn't be too hard. Did they say a time? I assume before dark is the best I can do for you.
How far away is this place?
Just down a floor.
Oh, sick. So we could totally just go see. Would you mind, you people, you guys, will you come with me? I was supposed to bring a crew and I got distracted. Some kids called me names and I got lost and distracted and, I just, Well, that one didn't feel good.
What are we
Sure,
supposed
You know
to
what
do?
might make it feel better?
Hmm?
Do you want another milk?
Another milk. I'll have another milk, Bubba.
No. No more.
But this how it's medicine. It's good for me.
It's not medicine. I'll give you some medicine.
Okay.
As you guys are having this conversation and starting to gather your effects, you look like Muggs is doing that thing where you're getting the box out. No? Putting the box back. And you hear the doors behind you.
Hold up.
Yeah.
What's in the box?
It's that milk.
It's the milk
More
again.
powdered milk.
Okay,
Medicine.
carry on.
Yeah, as you're getting nervous at him kind of pulling that box out, the doors behind you slam open and you see 4 Beckys walk in. You can tell that they're Beckys given the different logos across their shirt, things like Arrow Pastel and
Jap.
Jap, Boucle. And these are all things that have been hand stitched or sewn. They all also wear hats down low over their brow that have really flat brims. They've been made based on posters that they saw from when Dewuld was whole. In the front is the Becky hunk that you stared down, who is shaking like with rage as they point out at you and say, "That's him. He's the one that interrupted the greatest burn of the week. 20% off. It was him." What do you guys do?
How many of them are over there?
There are 4 total.
Oh, excellent.
Rick goes to the bar and leans back. And he just is like, Bubba's got this.
You turn to be like, "You've got this, right?" And Muggs looks at you, shakes his head, and goes back into the kitchen.
Hunk kind of glances over at them vacantly. There's not a thought between those eyes, and as the vacancy in his brain grows, he gains a moment of clarity. And I would like to use Visions of Death.
Tell me what Visions of Death looks like.
His eyes just kind of like dilate, and he is met with a vision of the future. A vision of death and life. He foresees that ignoring them will result in the death of, and I need to roll plus weird for this.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
On a 5, do you have your plus or minus
Yep.
from the dreams? Do you want to use that now?
Well, it's -2, so...
Okay, so no. So go ahead and mark an experience because you rolled a 5.
Uh-huh.
What happens when you miss with this?
When I miss, I foresee my own death.
Like in this situation or like in
Yes.
general?
No,
Okay.
well, it says, hold on. On a miss, you foresee your own death and accordingly take -1 throughout the battle.
Okay.
My death is to occur in the distant future
Okay.
at the hands of a Becky,
Yeah, so
but
you
not this Becky.
as you look, like you kind of try to open yourself up and experience what is to come, you see a vision of a Becky pulling, who has a belt that's like emblazoned with strange cartoons of a figure with bright orange hair and a swirling like headband on in different poses around the belt. And the Becky is standing on your back and like choking you to death, like yanking back on this belt as you slowly lose consciousness. You get strangled to death with a Naruto belt.
Shit. Foreseeing this, I get worrisome about a potential Becky taking my life. And so I walk over to the group of them and snatch one of the Beckys by her weave.
Okay, are you trying to sucker someone?
What?
Like
You mean
sucker
like
punch
sucker
someone.
punch?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the move. The move is called sucker someone. I'm not just making this up.
I didn't know, because when you said it in that context, it sounded like SUCCOR, and I was concerned.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. So it
but
sounds like
yes.
you're attacking someone.
Yes.
So, so when you sucker someone, let's see. You treat it as going aggro, but your victim has no choice to cave and do what you want. If you couldn't, you simply inflict harm as established. So yeah, I guess roll to attack.
That's hard, right?
I believe so.
It
Yeah.
says go aggro or seize by force. Cool.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
A 14.
All right. Yeah. So on a 10 plus, let's see. Make it clear what you want them to do and what you'll do to them. So on a 10 plus, I have to choose. Or let's see. Yeah, on a 10 plus, they have to choose force your hand and suck it up, or cave and do what you want. So what is it that you want this Becky to do?
Well, because I've foreseen my own death in the future at the hands of a Becky, my immediate thought is to delete all Beckys. I need to stall this future for as long as I can.
Okay.
And so by grabbing the Becky, I start to spin my head chain around. And I would like to, while I'm holding the Becky, I would like to catch the ball and chain in the same hand that I'm holding her head in.
Okay.
And at the end, I would like to be just holding the ball and chain with remnants of Becky.
Okay.
Sans head.
Yeah, so you do this thing. I'm like trying to figure out how that works mechanically.
Ooh, what does area mean? Does that mean I can hit multiple targets or no?
Yes. Yeah.
The
And I
ornate
feel like
head chain is 2 harm and area.
okay. Yeah, so you could hit multiple in an area.
Forget grabbing the Becky then. I'm just gonna jump into the center of them and start whirligigging.
Okay. All right. So that brings you're engaging in conflict with them. So what I'm gonna have you do that, and do you yell anything as you jump off the table to land in the center of them?
Yes, my own name, full name.
Which is
Hunk Smashley Fuddruckers.
You start to spin this around, and you catch one of the Becky's side, like square on the head, and you hear the sickly crunch of their spine splitting with the force of that maul slamming into their face, and their head turns, the little choker on their neck like getting pulled into the skin and kind of like sucked up in, as they then fall over on the ground and begin convulsing as they are dying. The rest of you watch as Hunk dives into the middle of these Beckys, screaming out his own name to the face of God and everyone else standing around him. And you prepare yourself for the consequences. Hunk has just head. What would you call that move, Hunk?
That is the level 2 Hunk Smashley Fuddruckers helicoptering whirligig.
I love it. We've experienced this. We now have a Becky whose face, They were barely able to kind of like matrix dive out of the way as the maul came scraping across their face. They're screaming, bleeding all over the bar, holding their face. My beautiful, beautiful face! The other two are terrified, and one is twitching on the ground. Everybody else, what are you doing?
All right. Yeah, this is what Toad is all about, especially with one of his friends in trouble. So as Hunk started to get in the fight, Toad just calmly puts on their mask. And then this is where I spring something on Sarah because I'm the best. Can you play my mask?
Play your mask?
Correct.
Sure I can. How do I do that?
So, the move is called Norman, and I actually really like that name. So we're gonna say that that's the name of my mask.
Okay.
So as I put on the mask, I just say, Norman, what should we do here? And you're going to respond as the mask, and then depending on what I roll is what happens.
Okay. You speak into the mask. Frick.
She loves this.
I am so excited. There's so many options in my head right now. So I've got to think what I want to do here. You whisper into the mask. Norman, tell me what to do.
Sarah, do you want a second? Because Lux can
Yes.
go if you need a minute to.
Please
Okay.
do. Yes.
All right. Let me give you a minute so you can brainstorm. She will glance at Rick, and from her hip pull out a 9mm, and just like make hard eye contact with Rick. This good or?
Yeah, you're fine. I mean, you're not the one causing trouble. Let's go for it.
And she would pull it out, cock it back, and just let one rip in the general direction of the Beckys.
Okay.
Not
Try not to
necessarily.
hit the wood.
Yeah, not necessarily aiming the best, probably. Maybe more so as like a warning shot.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Do you have the move to fire that, or
Well,
like a battle move?
I mean, there's one called Not to Be Fucked With, which is where I count as a small gang, myself, just me.
Yeah. So okay. And that gives you +1 harm, right? And how much harm does your gun have?
I wrote this down. Hang on. I can't remember. We might have to look this up real quick. It's not where I thought it was.
No, you're A-okay. So you're checking with Rick to fire the shot. Toad.
Yes.
You're in. You hear in your mind. Hear ye, my lord! Behold, find yourself in place of the ruffians that would undo our holy mission. You must take your trusty saber and delve it deep into their hearts. This is the way of the faceless.
Thank you, Norman. And Toad will calmly stand up and unsheath their machete and just walk forward and just stab it straight through one of the Beckys. And I rolled a 10, which means I succeed, and I did listen to Norman. So I mark experience and take +1 forward.
Okay. So you can add 1 to whatever you do next, I believe.
Okay.
So you stab. How much harm does your machete do?
3 harm.
Okay, yeah, you stab this thing into the Becky. right through their arrow paisley shirt, and like they gurgle out a final breath as they die, and you remove the machete and they just drop to the floor. Steph, were you able to find that damage?
Yeah, it's 2 harm.
Yeah, so you kind of checking with Rick, he gives you the go-ahead, and without looking, you take a shot. And the guy who's over the counter bleeding profusely from his face, my beautiful face, the bullet actually, you hit a pipe just above the bar, and the bullet ricochets right like through their head as they're kind of holding their face, and they slam down on the bar with a loud crack and slump down to the ground. Rick, as you watch as all this chaos happens, the bullet now like embedded in the bar from the ricochet, as the remaining Becky stands there in front of you. What do you do?
That's pretty quick. It's one of you left. How long is it going to... Might want to bow out on this one.
Okay. Is that a move, or you're just letting it happen?
It's just a move. I don't know. Is it a move? I don't know. I have a specific move for it. So
that's okay. Yeah, you just continue to lean against the bar. That brings us back around to Hunk.
I think I point to like a sign which is like, you start shit, you finish it, that we have for like fight. Like if a fight breaks out here, it's on you, and that's all I have. It's like, oh, you're...
Okay. Let's regret everything about this now. Hunk is going to flap open his duster. The Speedo that you saw around his hips is actually revealed to be like a metallic set of like briefs, not like thigh length, but like a Speedo cut. But it's metallic. It's a big metal, like almost like a medieval chastity belt almost. And on the front of it appears to be a little bow and string. And he stops spinning for 1 second and puts his hands over his head and does a couple of like forward thrusts. And the high-powered crossbow attached to his crotch fires a 3-round burst of bolts into the remaining Becky.
Okay. I'm trying to find, is there not like a roll to hit? Kind of like, or like a kick some ass?
I imagine that hard is the roll to hit because it says go aggro or seize by force.
So let's go ahead, roll plus hard to see if you're do the thing.
Cool. 9 partially succeeds.
Yeah, so on a 9 you get to choose, and this is how I should have handled the other stuff too. You get to choose 2 from the list. We'll just use from seize by force. Inflict terrible harm. You suffer little harm. You take definite and undeniable control of the situation. You impress, dismay, or frighten your enemy. So you get to pick 2 of those.
This is the last Becky, right?
This is the last Becky, correct.
All right, so I will inflict terrible harm. And what's the other one that receive a small harm or something like that?
You suffer little harm.
Okay, I'll suffer little harm. The 3-round burst crossbow leaves a little chafing because the bow has to like retract and it pinches my thighs a little bit when it fires.
Okay, how much damage does your crossbow, your crotch bow, how much damage does it do?
It does 3 harm, but it's a 3-round burst.
Okay, so yeah, you just eviscerate. As it fires off, it actually hits with enough force that it pushes this Becky back out through the doors. They expire out in the alley in front of Mugs as they're riddled with these small arrows. You are now met with the scene of an individual with their head screwed around all the way, one that's been shot in the face and one that's been stabbed, and the fourth out on the street. The rest of the customers in Mugs kind of sit around. Some of them were reaching for weapons, but this is dirt. Shit like this happens all the time. So most people just turn back and go back to drinking their juice or whatever beverage they have ordered. Mug comes out from the kitchen, sees the bodies, looks at you, Rick, and then goes back in the back room, returning with a red blood-stained mop. Clearly, this is not his first rodeo, as he goes to begin mopping up some of the blood.
As he turns back to get it, Rick's going to turn it. Now I'm going to have to clean all this up. And by that, I mean Bubba's going to clean all this up as he comes back with the mop.
Uh-oh. Something's happening. I feel real bad. Excuse me 1 second, and Bubba's gonna, or not Bubba, Hunk is gonna run right outside, and he's gonna make it just past the doors. As he, like, bursts the doors open and then runs to the left, and makes it just as far as, like, the window to the left of the bar, and outside all you hear is just...
Actually, I'm gonna make you act under fire for this to try and get out of the bar before you just upchuck everywhere.
Okay, it's, sure. Okay.
I would argue that this is a pretty charged situation.
Yeah. So cool?
Yes.
Yes, as cool as this is gonna be, I guess. 9.
A 9. Yeah, you make it. You run out, you kind of trip over the body of the dead Becky as you go, but that gives you a little bit more momentum, so you're able to get out and around and begin to throw up on the street.
No, it's not throw up, it's butt chug. So it just... as I empty all the hot milk on the floor.
Okay. Yeah, you do that. You shit in the street. And you actually, as you do, you look up
metal speedo.
through your metal speedo. And as you look up, you see this is actually a spot where apparently this happens a lot, because someone's actually pasted old cartoons on the wall opposite you to give you some light reading. But you're Hunk. Can Hunk read?
No, he just looks at the pictures.
He just looks at the picture. Okay.
Lux is going to look at Toad and go, so are we going to the spine, or...
We'll give him like 5 minutes.
Yeah, I don't... hold on 1 second. And Toad will walk over to the bodies and kind of kneel down and look into one of their eyes as they take off their mask. Are they dead, or are they still a little alive?
Oh no, they're super dead, bud.
That
Are you just kind of examining them though?
No. He's going to take off his mask and just dip his hand in the blood, and he's going to smear it over Norman and just look down into them. Norman appreciates it. And then go back to Steph. I think Hunk knows where we're going, so we have to wait on Hunk to...
Oh, we got it from him, but it could be weird if he's not there.
Yeah. I don't know what we're doing.
Unless we want to go look for Squirrel first. I mean, we still didn't get a time.
Squirrel will turn up. If not, we'll find him on the way. Mostly, should we offer Hunk something to help with their stomach, or...
He'll be fine.
Right. We'll just
We already got him a bunch of hot milk.
Well,
not much more we could do for him.
That's not very nice. I'll take care of him.
Hunk will take the time to collect all the cashmere scarves from the Beckys to clean up his metal underwear and himself.
Excellent.
I'm going to hand Hunk from inside one of my pockets a folded up pouch that has some really faded writing on it. Chew this, it'll help you feel better.
Okay.
Chew on the paper?
No, open it. And then as you open it, you'll see it says like Big League Chew, and there's like bright purple strands in it.
Okay.
Don't use it all though, please.
He takes like a a thick gorilla-sized finger pinch out of the big league and just tucks it under his front lip like he's seen people do with regular chew, and then he'll like fold it up and hand it back to
Thank you.
Toad. Do I just hold on to this in my mouth from now on?
Until you feel better.
Okay. Do I chew it? Can I swallow?
I heard if you swallow it, it stays in your stomach for 9 years.
I think you can chew it though.
Yeah.
What's it? What does this taste like besides bubblegum?
Grape.
Oh.
But it probably tastes really old, so I don't know how much grape is left in it.
Yeah. Hunk will chew right through the grit. The milk was no issue, so this will be,
Are you
it'll
sure
be
the
like
milk
Wheaties.
wasn't an issue?
Like mild grape. Well, it wasn't an issue taking it. Getting rid of it is a different thing. But grape flavored Wheaties will be essentially just as easy to hork down as hot powder bubble milk. As he just. It's pretty good. I like this a lot.
As you're chewing this ancient relic, there's a small figure of Shorty who comes darting from down the street and up the steps, seeing you, Rick, eyes wide up and goes, oh, hi, yeah, boss.
Yeah, hit me with it, Shorty.
Yeah, you want me to hit you?
No,
Okay.
no, well,
And like
tell me-
before
tell-
you can react, he's just gonna punch you in the nuts. Oh,
I kind of deserve that, probably.
did I do a good job? Did I do a good job?
Perfect.
Oh, okay. I found out what happened to the runners.
Yeah.
And nobody knows.
That's not finding out, Shorty.
Oh. I mean, are you sure? Because I asked,
Did they not come?
this many people. I'm pretty sure that's finding out.
Is that 4? I didn't see.
Shorty's gonna turn to you, Lux. Is it?
That's 4.
Yeah, it's okay. I asked, and they said that they saw him go out, and they didn't come back.
That doesn't seem good.
No. Oh, I got a little snot on me. He takes the back of his hand and starts wiping it on you. Just kidding.
Shorty.
Oh, sorry.
Alright, go work. Get your pay, and we got the good the no nut stuff or whatever. Food.
Okay. Oh, okay.
It's ready. It's ready. Just go back kitchen.
And Shorty just nods, and runs inside. As the doors close behind you, you hear an adolescent scream as Shorty sees all of the dead bodies and immediately faints, a loud thud echoing out into the street.
I deserve that.
All right, so you guys are outside. Where do you go from here? How do you spend the rest of your day?
Still trying to catch his breath, reeling from that. Well, if the runners didn't come, did no one mention anything to you, Hunk, about that? It seems like something.
About what?
Runners
Dry.
or what? Why? You didn't mention. You said you needed a crew, but you didn't mention why.
I don't know. I was told by Noah to come meet her by, shit.
Benedict's fine.
Euphigenia's spot.
Yeah.
I don't know why. She just told me she had a job.
She had a job. Perfect. Perfect. This makes a lot more sense now.
Oh yeah, job. I remember that part now. I was supposed to meet her sometime today.
Job. Job. Perfect.
I'm gonna swallow this gum, Toad.
Go ahead.
Okay.
See what happens.
That was good. It was gravy. It was tough to chew, but it was delicious. But yes, Noah says she got a job for us, and she told me to bring a crew. So I'm bringing a crew. Is that okay?
It works for me. I'm free.
You guys, I assume.
Looks back at the bar, thinks about all of the problems he has. Yeah, I'm free. Don't worry about it.
Is that okay with you guys? You come, we could find Squirrel. He could be in the crew too. Chef.
Yeah. Sure. I'll look for him on the way.
All right. You all make your way down
I'm just
to.
gonna turn back to the bar first and go. Hey, Bubba, make sure Shorty gets what he needs. He's in charge. I'll be back shortly.
Yeah, you see Shorty is face down, like in the room as Muggs is pulling the last body away from where it is towards the back, and he'll just stare at you, not breaking eye contact as he drags this dead Becky back.
Perfect.
Perfect. You guys then turn and head to the second layer. You get off of the service elevator and you see again, you've all been here. Toad, this looks a little more familiar, and you realize like, oh, that's right, I should have gotten off here to, like, this is where all the people live, as you remember the last time you were here visiting. All of the different residences stacked on top of each other, the different walkways. The day is now in full swing, and the entire second layer is filled with the sounds of a neighborhood, people coming and going. There's cursing and loud sounds as people move to and fro, reshuffling items from the restock, fresh things coming in to keep the city of dirt alive. You see the 2 arrows, intake office in bright orange, food in bright yellow, and you know that Abinadi's spine is in front of food. You follow this line as it crosses through the alleys, walking down to Abinadi's spine. There, you see, it's kind of like a square situation. There are different kids kind of playing with makeshift toys. There's people having idle conversation. You see a couple of booths selling odds and ends. It's a kind of a town square situation. As you enter into that area, you all look around for Noah, who's hired you for this job, and you don't immediately see her present. What do you do?
Punk's gonna lean in to whoever's closest to him at the time and just go,
Yes, Hunk.
I forgot where Abinadi's spine is. And I
We'll
need
find
to
it.
find Noah.
It's right here.
This is the whole thing?
Yeah, that thing right
How
there.
the fuck are we supposed to find her? She's just like, it's like, come to the city of New York. We're over there somewhere. How the fuck are we supposed... Hold on a sec. Can we just scream for her? Is that okay? Can I yell for her?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could try.
Hunk's gonna like pull his helmet down so his mouth is exposed, and he's just gonna look up and scream, "No! We're here!"
As you do that, it echoes. People stop to like glare or stare at you. A bunch of kids kind of snigger off to the side, and you look around. Eventually, you somebody comes up to you and goes, I mean, she's going to be at the intake office till dusk. Did she ask you to meet here?
Yeah, she said like somewhere around here. Where's the intake office?
This individual looks at the rest of you and then back over to the bright orange line that leads to the intake office that runs through all of the alleys here.
He's gonna grab him by the shoulders and pull him close. And he said, "Where's the intake office?"
That way, and he's going to nervously point in that direction.
And he's just gonna like sit him back down and like dust his shoulder out. Okay, thank you. And he's gonna start walking towards where he pointed.
All right. Do the rest of you guys follow?
Yes. I want to see where this is going.
Lux is definitely following, but she's keeping an eye out for Squirrel just to see if he is around or,
Awesome.
any sign of
Walking
him.
around. Sorry.
No, go for it.
I was gonna say, walking around. Does it seem like there's like a lot of Bettys around?
Becky's? Yes.
Becky's.
So as you're walking around, looking through the city, you let's see. You're looking, and it's dirt has kind of developed its own feeling, right? You have a lot of people with not much coming in, and they are trying to desperately scrape out their mark in this world. So the walls are just coated in carvings and graffiti and all of these things. And you happen to know the Church of Maul is celebrating the BOGO event. And so it's not that there are more Becky's, but the Becky's are a little bit more vibrant. They have flyers that they're all kind of posting around. You're not exactly sure how they got the materials to make all of these, if you're honest. Like, it's written on cloth, on paper, on sheets of metal, anything they can find, and they're plastering it everywhere. And have their traditional greeting has changed a little bit as they pass each other. Great savings to you as you move through the why can't I corridors? There it is. But there's not more, but they are a little bit more noticeable.
Becky's really stepping up every year around this. You're real weird. I'm just gonna kind of say to the group in general.
Who's weird?
The Becky's, the people you guys all beat up.
Oh. Is this place shaped like a square, or...
Is that a question for me or in general?
I don't know. Whoever knows, I'm not from here.
I was going to say, is it a square?
Nah.
What do you guys think?
No, it's a circle.
I hate that. Why do you guys name it a square when it's not square?
Because a square is more expensive, but sounds really classy. Circles are cheaper. You don't have to make corners.
So call it a town circle.
No, it doesn't sound as regal.
I am not standing in that line.
I'll do it.
No, we're not standing in the line. Let's go to the front. We have business.
As you walk up and you've seen, there is a line leading out of the front of a building that's painted bright orange, and then in black letters, it just says intake above. There's a door with two lines going in, and Toad, you start to shoulder past people to try and get in. There's one man that like goes, "Hey, what the fuck do you think you're doing?" And will try and shove you as you pass.
I just turn around and just lock eyes with him and just give him a smile with my eyes. What did you say?
I said, "Fuck you, man. I've been standing here all fucking day. Where the fuck you think you're going?"
I think you want to reconsider what you just said.
You think I want to fucking reconsider? And he looks back at the people behind him in line as if looking for moral support. I think you need to fucking ask yourself if you want to die today. And he pulls out a knife from his belt.
What's the matter, Toad? And Hunk will walk up carrying like the ball, like just like a waiter. What's the matter, Toad? You said we could go to the front of the line because we have business. Who's your friend? And I just like look down at him. Not menacingly, just curious.
Not wanting to waste time and relieve this poor person of their life, I will try to take a deep breath and not lose my temper. And it's okay. We don't need any trouble. But we're here on business. And I'll just turn around and keep walking forward and motion to everyone to follow.
The man will watch as the rest of you come up, all wearing various battle gear, and he'll back down a little bit. Yeah, you better fucking run, throwing out insults, but clearly not gonna make a fuss. You enter the intake office, and it's, you've all been here before, with the exception of Toad, when you were initially assigned rooms, here in Dirt. And it's very simple. There's a line that leads up to a desk. Behind the desk sits Noah. She has different papers and maps in front of her that she's working on, and there's a line of people that is waiting. Normally, they're right up at the desk, but not now. And what's unusual is Rue is there as well. She is kind of keeps rubbing the back of her head as if it hurts, and is jabbing at a paper on the table concerned. And Noah is kind of like hand waving at her, like, can we not do this here? As you approach, Noah's eyes flick up, and she kind of takes you all in and looks at you in particular, Hunk, and goes, "You gotta be fucking shitting me right now."
No, I did that earlier, not right now.
I fucking told you. And she looks nervously at Rue. I fucking told you to meet me at the spine at dusk. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, we're at your desk right now.
Oh my. I'm. Rue is looking at all of you and like looks at you, Toad, recognizing like, and kind of gives a way. What's going on here? Why y'all here? Looking like a crew.
Yeah, so as a point of order, but I'm not going to put it back on. Before we entered, I had to put my mask back on. But what happens when someone takes S harm? Do you know?
S harm?
Yeah.
Based on the game's original rules, I would imagine. It's the thing we're not using.
Yeah, I don't think we're using
It might be like S minus harm or S harm.
Oh, it might be social harm.
It could be social harm, yeah.
Okay, so unfortunately, the guy who decided to question me saw my full face without my mask. So he, like, after that encounter and cools down, he would take that harm. So, like, my face haunts him or something. Because he saw me for the first time without my mask. So.
Okay. This is the guy in the line, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As that's kind of happening behind you, you hear like he like kind of like looks around and gets nauseous before kind of leaning over and starting to sweat uncontrollably. The people in the line around him are nervous and start backing up, and he actually leans over and starts vomiting off to the side, creating like a little kerfuffle in the line behind you. Noah, her face angled and angry, looks at you, and then back at Rue. Yeah, it's fine, Rue. I've got this one. You don't have to fucking worry about it. I've got this one. And Rue will stand up and look at all of y'all, and then back at her. Is this about the fucking generator? Is this the generator? This is a generator job. And Noah goes, I said I have it. Okay? Alright? Can I do my job and maybe you can go fucking do your job? How about that? How about we just all do our jobs? As she, like, calls out to the crowd, backlit by, like, the of the guy, vomiting. Rue kind of twitches a little bit. Alright. Yeah, I'll do my fucking job. And she storms out. Noah will lean in front of the table and flip a sign that says, be back bitches on it, and stands up. Intakes will be on hold for a minute while I attend to other business. And you hear but we've been here for hours. And so there's like a groan. And she'll stand up and turn and look at all of you. All right, follow me, I guess. And she leads you into a back room. Who the fuck are... You're Rick, right?
Yeah.
You run Mugs,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Run it. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Owner. Runner. Yep.
Do you seem like you don't know. Do you know? Do you know?
No.
Okay, so we're 2 for 2 on the morons, and she turns and looks at Steph and Toad. When she looks at you, Steph, she actually raises a brow in appreciation. She's like, I fucking know you. You're the one that helped with that uprising. Just a while back, right? I gotta say, fucking impressed with your work.
Thank you. She's going to relax a little bit.
I feel a little bit better knowing we've got a competent person here. And she turns and looks at you, Toad, and goes, but are you one of those kinds that's going to freak out if they have to touch a microchip?
Why would I have to touch a microchip?
I don't know. Is it going to be a problem?
No. It's not really my forte. I more use this as I pat the machete, but I'm sure Steph or Rick can touch microchips for me if they have to.
Potato chips, normal chips, poker chips. Yeah, I can touch them all.
God, I'd kill for some potato chips. Ugh, we haven't been
Guys,
able
I'm
to...
getting real hungry.
Why didn't you say anything when we were back at the bar?
I was busy pooping.
No, I got some potato chips. I'll send them to your desk.
Listen, I need to get back to things. I need to keep the ship afloat. I'll just tell you what I need, and then you guys can go do it, or you cannot. But I should warn you, it's a surface job.
Why do you have to warn us of that?
All right, I forget that you faceless folks love the surface. The rest of you, it's gonna be hot as fuck, and the air is poison, and there's all sorts of shit going on. I'm gonna
I've
give
done
you
that
this.
before. Been a while though.
Okay. And you two?
I mean, you'll be outfitting us, right?
If
With,
we
like,
have to,
breather
yeah.
suits and things.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right, well, here's the deal. It's not just any surface job. There's an oil skimmer camp northeast of here. Has some parts we need. Keep the power generating working, as it were. I need you to go get him. We tried to just trade for him, but the skimmers are trying to strong arm us. Ever since that deal happened over at Mugs, shit's been getting more and more tense. So You know. But I say fuck them. I tried it the nice way, so we'll take it by force. I need a crew to go in, get the parts, bring it back.
Doesn't that seem like that's gonna just cause more problems down the line?
I mean, if you do the job shit, you plan on doing the job shit?
No, but there's a lot of other people that get oil, you know? That's also important,
Sure.
right?
You would know that the oil skimmers are really just, they're like roving bands out on the surface. They're the ones that kind of go through and try to find relics in the topsoil.
Yeah.
They have special rigs because the valley around Dirt is actually flooded with oil and other chemicals. There are roads for vehicles, but a lot of it's like more like a swampy marsh, and they have specialized vehicles to be able to reach places that others can't get. And they barter with the other towns as well.
Just, I don't know, pissing off some of the skimmers might piss them all off, especially with what's going on with the Beckys and...
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Rick.
I'll let you do the big thoughts. We'll just get your... I mean, well, that Hunk here and Toad and Lux will get you your chips.
What you're asking is make sure there's no witnesses, right?
Catch on quick.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's an option.
I can do that.
The only reason they give a shit about the parts is because we give a shit about the parts. They not using them, they're just sitting there. If you can get in, steal them without being seen, and get back here, no harm, no foul. There's no honor among thieves anyways.
I look over at Hunk. I don't know if sneaking is our strong suit. How many of them are there?
It's a skimmer camp. It could be 5, could be 50. Just depends.
We can take 50, right?
Okay.
Well, I mean, I suppose if we're gonna do that, we should probably talk about what we're getting out of this.
Yes.
We're getting a job.
Yeah, and the jobs usually pay, and sometimes payment takes different forms. I noticed the runners didn't come in today. You wouldn't happen to know about that, would you, Noah?
Your runners didn't come in. Everyone else's
Yeah.
did.
What?
She kind of gestures around to all the different, like... I mean, everything else got restocked. There was just the one set of runners that didn't come in. That
Rick's
shit's
like,
dangerous.
I have different runners? I thought everyone had the same ones. They're not all the same?
Wow, Rick, that really sucks for you, buddy.
Rick seems like an awful
Yeah, it
manager.
does.
Sounds like you got fucked on the deal. You got shit runners.
I don't know anything. I know that your runners didn't come in. That's all I know. You might want to keep it down, though, because if they were bringing in what I think they're supposed to be bringing in, and you don't have what I think you're supposed to have, you're going to have some trouble, and you might lose that place.
I've had that feeling.
Right. Anyways, you've got the job. Oil skimmers camp northeast. You can hit the garage. The mechanic knows the deal. Make sure that you get your outfits and everything. You guys got a vehicle?
Yeah, I have a vehicle.
Great.
It'll be a
Fine.
tight squeeze. We'll figure it out.
Great.
I can stand on the top.
I can sit on Hunk's lap if I have to.
Mhm.
All right. Well,
This is all great.
safest time to leave is going to be at the dusk descent. So you've got a couple hours to burn.
Good thing we got you before dusk then.
Is that a different dusk than this one right here? Or
Do me a favor. Don't let him talk to anyone on the job, okay? Because
Mhm.
that's a face that no one can forget. And the way
Huh.
he talks, they're going to know exactly where you guys came from.
Wait, what are we getting paid? I don't think we settled on that.
That's right, we didn't.
Oh my
You
god.
have your own runners, right?
Yeah. And I can't exactly send my runners, the ones that go to the surface every single day, seen coming and going in a cohesive unit, to the oil skimmer camp, where if they
I'm
get
not
caught,
sure.
it might immediately come back to me and my little ship here.
Perfect. I'm missing runners, as it turns out, and I'm in the market.
You want to use my runners?
Yeah.
To go to Sloan's.
Sure. I mean, I guess that's where they go normally, right? That's where my runners go. Right? Right.
Bar
Yeah.
owner ever.
Yeah, Noah kind of takes a minute to think about it.
I mean, in the end, it probably helps you out, because
Well, it
if
means
it's all gone, my bar is probably not the biggest problem that's happening. Although me losing it would be a disaster, let's be clear.
right. Yeah, deal. I'll let you use
Okay.
my runners for one shipment.
Okay, but it's gotta be like soon.
Fine.
Send them out tomorrow.
Get back with my parts tomorrow, and I'll send my runners out.
And all you guys will get free rounds. Couple rounds. Or something else. I don't know. You want something else, or barter
Well,
yourself.
hot milk as much as I want.
Much as you want.
Yes, as you may know, I don't use the typical forms of payment as the rest of you, but I did hear from a friend that you have a big box of Happy Meal toys somewhere.
I can talk to Rue. That's hers. She was really excited. She was going to finish some collection. So there was apparently a toy in there that she was really looking forward to.
Hmm.
But I can talk to Rue, see what I can do.
All right.
Is there
what I'll
something
take
that
my
you're looking
payment
for?
in. Well, how many Happy Meal toys is this job worth?
Well, I guess I'll ask Rue that too.
Okay.
She
don't-
looks... Oh, go for it.
I don't want to take the one that she really wants, but maybe we can trade. But I do want a decent payment.
Okay. She looks at you, Hunk, and Steph. What about you guys? You need some gopher gals or wind-up toys?
What's your gopher gal?
I'm surprised looking like that you don't already know.
I don't know what that means.
Huh.
But thank you for the compliment you paid me earlier. That was real nice.
You're welcome. What do you want to
Is
get
that
paid?
my payment? Do I get paid compliments? Is that what? Because those feel real good. Oops, sorry. This is in the way.
Compliments? And she looks at you, Steph. And you?
Just as much info as you can on the Beckys. You know,
The Becky.
I'm looking. I have a feeling some of them stole some things from me. So, just
just like from your apartment? Yeah, I mean, what's yours is ours and all of that, Stealing, it happens.
no, they did it in the mechanic shop. So,
In the garage.
yeah.
Holy shit. Holy shit. And you're sure it was Becky's?
Well, and she'll pull out the flyer. And this was shoved under my car seat, which is where, my stuff went missing.
Fuck. Okay, yeah, I'll try and get some information on that. Is there something that you're wanting to know in particular? What you're looking for?
Just general information. I try to stay away from them as much as possible.
That's fair. I swear to God, if they try to mist me with any of that shit they call cologne, I will stab them. It's disgusting.
It's valid.
That Nikiki Menagerie perfume.
Yeah,
It's awful.
I'm pretty positive that part of it's tied into the septic system. Like, it's the only way that makes sense. But they're able to produce it at that quantity because they're not using the third layer. Anyways, it's neither here nor there. Great. Deal. Go get my shit. Bring it back. And you'll get paid. All right?
Sweet.
Okay.
Great.
Sounds like a deal. Where do you want the stuff when we come back? Just leave it on your desk.
Yeah, bring it here.
Okay.
Intake office. She, the back room, she kind of nods as she opens the door and looks at all of the people still waiting to go through the process of being intaked.
What does what we're looking for look like?
The mechanic will have drawings. Something that you'll know what you need.
We'll go talk to him.
Great.
Hunks.
She sighs
I
and
like
looks at you guys.
drawings.
All right. Good luck, fuckers, as she steps back out and goes over and flips her sign. Sorry, everybody. Just, again, approach 2 by 2. We'll get you in and out of here, no problem. She settles down into her chair, and it begins again. You guys start to leave the office, kind of pushing past. The guy, Toad, that had seen your face, is kind of now sitting on the ground, head between his knees, and everyone, when they see you, kind of backs away, convinced you've done something horrible, as he continues to kind of dry heave, nothing left. Down the street, you see Rue leaning up against a building, watching as you approach. She kind of gives you all the up-down, and watches as you pass by, moving towards you need to go. She eventually kind of steps out behind as you walk by and calls out to you. Tell Jesper I say hey. And you continue in your direction. Let's see. And we're gonna kind of fade out on that scene of you guys walking in the direction of the garage, working to go get your job, and go raid an oil skimmer camp. Did you know, when the Roman Empire fell in 476 AD, the recipe for concrete was lost to the world? It's true, and scientists have tried to figure out that recipe ever since. The researchers at the University of Utah discovered that as seawater filters through piers and breakwaters made of this age-old Roman concrete, the structures actually become increasingly stronger because of the growth of the interlocking materials, including some minerals that are incredibly rare or very expensive to cultivate in a lab setting. But even after all this time, all our advances in science, culture, art, we still don't know how the Romans did it. Sure, we have concrete now, but it's not really the point, is it? Some things lost, once lost, are lost forever. Thank you all for joining us for this session of Dirt! As we wrap up for the evening, we have a few items to take care of. First, we have session experience. Players, at the end of each session, my wonderful players have an opportunity to gain extra experience if they can answer yes to the following questions. So, I ask, citizens of Dirt, did you learn something important about the world and how it works?
Yes.
All right.
I think yes.
Yes.
How his world works, at least for Rick.
Absolutely.
All right, go ahead and mark it 1 experience there. Did you protect Dirt from a dangerous threat?
Oh,
Are Becky's
The
considered
Beckys
a
are-
threat?
That's interesting. You don't know that. They were a threat to you, but I don't think you know if they're a threat to Dirt.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no.
Let's
We
say
did
no.
not protect.
Does the question
anything.
say, did I knowingly protect Dirt from a...
Nah, nah, nah.
Or does it say I protected Dirt from a serious threat?
And the last question, did you solve a person or a community's problem?
Not yet, I don't think.
Do I count as a person?
What problem did you get solved?
I'm gonna die. So like, I killed the Beckys and solved the shit out of that problem.
Nah, I don't think that's in this.
Ooh.
Oh, go for it.
Also, we took this job. I mean, I don't knowingly know that it's gonna fix this
I'll
community's
give you that
problems.
one. I'll give you that one. You solved Noah's problem of needing a
Of
crew
finding a
willing,
crew.
of finding a crew willing to take this job. So yeah, go ahead and mark an experience. So you get 2 experience added to any of the misses or other move experience you earned through the game. Brilliant. And now, like Dewuld, our session has come to the end. I've done my best to master these ceremonies, and I couldn't have done it without my phenomenal players,